Cool. Looks to be working. Ken, I will pass it over to you. We might want to wait just a wee minute just in case anyone else is joining, but other than that, the stage is yours.
Yeah, well, we'll give it another few minutes. How has the hackathon been for folks? For how many of you guys in the Australian outpost is this your first time doing an NF Core hackathon? Oh, that's right. It is the first time we've had a local site in Australia, so
Yeah.
and New Zealand, so okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Ken Brewer. I'm also a member of Sakara's community team and on the NF Core and outreach teams. Um, I wanted to say thank you to all of you for making this such an enjoyable 3 days. There has been so much energy and excitement happening in the Slack channels at all times of the day and night. And having you guys from the APAC region as part of the hackathon has made this like literally a hackathon where the sun never set on it for 3 whole days. And so thank you so much for being like the tip of the spear, like jumping into the hackathon first and keeping the energy going. So that's been wonderful, especially seeing all of the photos that you guys have posted in all of the Slack channels. Yeah, and we're really excited to have had like such great site participation from APAC, and we're sure that things will just keep growing and getting better as like the community grows. And so thank you so much for participating, and we look forward to having even bigger and better hackathons with you guys participating in the future. A couple of things in terms of wrapping up. Um, Please make sure that you post about your work in like the appropriate Slack channels, especially if you are in need of reviews to get your pull requests merged. Um, really try hard to get like those pull requests merged through those last few hurdles to make sure that we don't lose the valuable work that you guys have been working on. And take advantage of the Slack moving forward and the forum at community.sakara.io. You can tag posts with the NF Core post. And there's an ask for help section. And so there's all sorts of great ways to like kind of stay involved in NF Core beyond. So let's go into the progress updates. And I'm excited to hear about what everyone has been working on. This is my first day joining the APAC call. So first up, we have project JSON schema improvements. Do we have someone from that project who's willing to
I
take us
think
through it?
the way we've been doing it is I've been the spokesperson for all the New Zealand crew updates. So I've got the next set of slides if we put everything in order correctly. So made some progress on some additional JSON schema improvements. This slide keeps getting updated by different locations and gaining and losing pipelines that are in progress and being updated. So I have no idea how up to date this is, but I added the ones that we have in progress. I submitted, I think, 3 for review today, and then realized that one is needs a lot more work in that repo before it can actually be ready for a JSON schema update. So that is more to come. But I think that's it on this one. Yeah,
Okay.
next slide, me. There we go. Discovered that it turned out there were actually 2 of us, not both at the local site, working on this repo. And so some stuff got merged in. We're working, Maxime and Miriam, who actually helped author this project, this pipeline, have been getting it ready for a new release with DSL2 conversion. And so I did some schema updates there, and that led to some more changes. But yeah, Miriam, I think, worked on this more today than I did. I ended up getting distracted, but they're getting pretty much ready for reviews there. So if people want to go testing something, you can test stuff about poop. Super fun.
I was telling some of my housemates here in San Francisco that some of the APAC people were working on poop pipelines and they were
Yep.
disgusted and fascinated.
Miriam is doing her PhD on courier dog paleofeces across New Zealand. So interesting stuff.
Awesome.
This is, in theory, the project that our local site was really working on, is the RTG tools, modules, improvements. Reef made a lot of progress on some of the meta.yaml files, getting the documentation links a little bit more useful. And Ilya's been making good progress on the VCF filter module and trying to figure out how to pass JavaScript files as inputs that are optional to modules, which is making everything confusing. Yeah, a little wild. And then Reef, I think this may have been yesterday, but maybe you did another one. I got confused. I thought you were working on I thought you were working on the website today again. Reef's been making some updates to the website. And then we both kind of dove in on the dual RNA-seq repo, because another one of our colleagues who wasn't able to join the hackathon actually was one of the original authors of that pipeline. So that pipeline basically hadn't been updated in 4 years. So it's been an adventure trying to dig into it. So we've got a lot of updates going on, just trying to get things dealt with. And Reef got to take a look at what a DSL1 pipeline looked like for the first time, and was terrified of the amount of work that had to go into it. Yeah, so just no linting passed at all. And that might have been it for us. I don't remember. Oh no, there's a viral recon one, I think. Nope, cool. I forgot about viral recon, but viral recon, we had people working on that too over the course of the hackathon, getting one of the modules updated.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for all of the updates, Jen and New Zealand crew. Okay, next up, NF Core Protein Fold. Who wants to tell us about that amazing pipeline?
Cool. I can continue on. So there was a lot of setup on day one, and day two, there's kind of planning lots and lots of fixes. So we were opening a bunch of issues, and a few of them have actually been ready pull requests or one merge pull request. Changing away from things that were giving blank ID sequences. So our user at UNSW tested it, it works fine. We just need to merge it back here. Simplifying a lot of the parameters so the user doesn't have to specify as much themselves, sensible defaults. And what I mentioned before is that when you align two protein structures, you assume they start at 0 and continue on, but like ASM fold puts these arbitrary gaps in multimers and things like that. So there are all these kind of hacks being used in the numbering of residues, so they won't align the way you think they've aligned with magic numbers. So Mitch fixed that. Someone who started the site added some human readable schema issues, which is good. If someone kind of hits this and it throws some regex at them, they'll be like, what the hell's going on? And so there's actually a bit more feedback that way. We have a local, this isn't on here, but we did actually get a local version of development bolts running, which means it's fast in the implementation of Fold 3. And someone else, Ziad, kind of did where you can do interaction screening. So you have a single protein, you calculate the sequence alignment for that protein, and then it can recycle that sequence alignment to screen against a whole bunch of its interaction partners, which is something that the wet lab biologists have been absolutely begging for, because that's mostly what I wanted to do, and you're wasting all of your time recalculating the same MSAs there. So that's only a local development version, but that's something that everyone's been kind of knocking on our door for. And then kind of more issues about standard formatting, because you have now nearing on a dozen different protein folding programs, and someone from outside site chimed in and said ModelSif is the way to do this. And we're not super familiar with ModelSif, but at least it's got the metadata associated with it. So there's questions of how do we, number one, extract a simple format, but number two, should it be in a way that could then be deposited in places like Model Archive easily, because then the users can kind of go from that publication. That's probably future release. At the moment, we just want MSAs and PAEs and standard format, but moving towards something that work group is working on would be great.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, Protein Fold, I think, is one of the coolest pipelines in NF, well, they're all the coolest pipelines in NF Core, but Protein Fold is especially cool. And it's also the one that I talk a lot about too when I'm hanging out with tech people here in San Francisco. Okay. So next up, we have Project NF Test.
This one.
So the motivation behind this project is that here at the Australian Outpost, there's several of us across different bioinformatics core facilities, across different Australian states. We all maintain pipelines that we run on the service or in production. And when we arrived at the hackathon, none of us, or very few of us, had ever looked or touched an F-test. And so for this project, we took all of our pipelines that we work on individually, and we tried to apply an F-test to parts of our pipelines. And I think we've had great success. We've learned a lot about NF tests. We've got several tests running. So Eric and Tan, they have a production pipeline that converts BCL to FastQ, and they managed to write a test for one of their processes, including snapshot tests. Tom, our friend Richard, worked on the purge tubes module, converting it from PyTest to NF test. Sarah worked on testing the open-fold container, iterating and working through a few errors on that. Magda worked on a viral detection pipeline that takes in Oxford Nanopore data and implemented 2 tests for 2 different processes, and the rest of us worked on a bunch of other pipelines involving RNA virus detection, finding AMR genes in bacterial nanopore and OncoCMV. So lots of different applications, and we were chipping away at adding tests. So before this hackathon, before we looked at NF test, I think we're on one end of the bell curve. I'm not sure which end it is, but we're converging in the middle one with NF tests now.
Awesome. Okay, I think that's the last update slide. Chris, do you have anything you wanted to add before we get ready to sign off?
No, look, I just want to say thank you to everyone for being involved. It's been really great to have some local sites in Australia and New Zealand this year. Like Ken said earlier, it's the first time we've done this, and it's been really awesome to sort of see the work that's come out of the region. And I hope this is just like the start for building a really strong community. Normally, I am based in New Zealand now, so I'm hoping to sort of build more community events in line with the community team in the near future. I know we have a couple of ambassadors there as well. I'm hoping we can all link up and do more. I do want to have a little plug for the APAC office hours. So at 3 p.m. New Zealand time, I know this will all change with the time zones changing soon, and between New Zealand and Australia, it is incredibly confusing. But if you are working on things, want to jump online, Arthur, who's based in Australia now as well, we quite often jump online together and just either chat about anything, but also happy to talk about Nextflow and NF Core. And if you're having issues, help out with that as well. And a very similar kind of thought as well, I want to acknowledge the site leaders and the project leaders, those that have been giving updates for the last couple of days. Really great to sort of see that, and you know, it's not easy to kind of put your hand up in these situations and say, hey, I'm going to take this on, especially when things are very new. So just a very loud virtual clap and thank you to them as well. But yeah, apart from that, thank you everyone. Great to see you. Great to meet some of you. And I hope to see you all around the area and the time zone in the very near future.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Ken. Yeah, we'd like to give a big thank you to Secura and of course team, all the organizers as well. A lot of us in this room have been collaborating for several months, and this really gave us an opportunity to be in the same room and work together, and it's been very productive. So thank you all.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Thanks all. Have a great rest of your days and evenings, and yeah, let's talk soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.